Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Andre Mezalira.
I see her selling.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
I see she's
testing the microphone now. All right, this is the Wings Mobile Detailing Podcast, and we are here. I drove down to Virginia Beach to record this podcast, talking about setbacks today, and with Arsalan Karimi. I'm not even gonna ask how you doing, man. What's up?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Thanks for coming out here.
Yeah, no problem, dude. I know it's been rough. I know it's been a rough one, but we're gonna look back. So today, the topic that we're gonna really bring a lot of value to you guys. Whenever you want a business or you're an employee, go through hitting a wall or hitting a setback in your business or in your life. Everybody comes to a point in their business or life that they will face a setback, and especially successful business people, they tend to use setbacks as a motivation, because they know that despite the huge struggles and this belief that these successful people face during a setback. So you're going through a setback, you have doubts in your mind and everything, but once you reach a point of success, and we know that from successful people, they use that as a what is it, like a force?
Yeah, it's a motivation for them.
Yeah. And they still are aware and excited when these moments come, because they truly understand that setbacks, setback is required to have for them to achieve massive levels of success. And today, for the first time, we as business owners, Arsalan and I, we're here in Virginia Beach. We're going to talk about the setbacks, not as other successful people, tend to talk about setbacks in their lives after they've gone through it. But we're actually today talking about to you guys while we're going through a huge setback in business. So you guys going to get firsthand and our feelings, our thoughts about how it feels like and how to overcome this. And we'll bluntly, is that the word?
Yeah.
We'll open up about how people feel. And I guess that this is also the reason, that we're going through today, is why 98% of businesses fail in the first 2 years, as they have statistics on that. So we're going to start and talk about what is really a setback before we start. And Arsalan is we're going to just, I think you just want to vent now, right, bro?
Yeah, it's still very new in my mind. So all my thoughts are at this point have been negative so far. And yeah, I just want to vent, and it's so hard. It's so hard to vent to, most people. So you have to find a few business owners, maybe, especially people who are ahead of you, and vent. And listen to them and have them say their tell you their say and make you feel all right. So it's just a rare situation, but it's good to keep in mind that at the end of it all, this is actually a great learning curve. Yeah, I mean, recently, should I just dive in?
I do want to, for whomever's listening, say what a setback really is.
Yeah.
When it happens, actually. I'm sure if whoever is in business, but this is also going to serve for those people who haven't started in business or haven't gone through a huge setback, and they think that everything is just smooth seas.
Yeah.
And what will happen in their lives. So this happened when things go so wrong. This is what setback is. When things go wrong, everything goes south, and it's not just, I'm not selling enough, I have low clients, that's a regular problem that every business have. This is not a setback. Setback is when a collective,
bunch of small events or one big thing kind of sets your goals way back.
Yeah. And it can be financially. Sometimes you're in business, but it can happen, personal. Hopefully it doesn't happen, personal, because personal can get real tough for health issues or whatever. Or different business. It doesn't matter the business you were in. Setbacks are problems. They're massive problems, which comes at a huge unexpectedly loss, at a time. And as a consequence, it makes you lose your belief that sometimes it is even possible to continue. It's so it's that type of sentiments that going through right now. We can really tell firsthand, but we actually kind of do believe, because we know this is something normally that we'll face. And Grant has a really great example on that. Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
We have a lot of examples for big people. And this is the reason we continue going, because we look at this as setbacks as, okay, awesome, I finally got through one. I know you don't. I know, bro. You're probably like, shut up. No, this sucks. But I mean, it's something that normally you also know. Like Arsalan understands that it's something that it's required for us to achieve massive success, right. And we take advantage of it. It's like excited because it's happening, but it doesn't feel exciting when you're going through it.
I'm actually trying to think of someone successful that we follow who hasn't had a huge setback. I don't think there's one. I think they've all. Yeah. I think everyone that we look up to and admire and listen to, try to learn from, I think all of them have had not just one, multiple setbacks.
Yeah.
And they've all and when you listen to them today, they've all thanked that setback. Like they've all been very appreciative of that setback and how much they learned from it. So it's without listening and hearing these guys say things like that, I think especially for me, I think it would have been impossible to keep looking forward. To
know it's normal.
To know that it happens to everyone.
But
when it happens
really
to you, it's just even though and you listen to these guys and it's just part of the deal. It's just part of the game. You still, when it happens to you, as it has to me right now, it's still just obviously very hard to think straight in any way possible. Yeah, it's just you're just completely stressed. Everything.
And that's so true. Like those successful people, and I got that to myself too. And I was telling you about a setback that I had a year ago. Obviously, still working as Wings Mobile Detailing owner, just as Arsalan is, at here at the location Virginia Beach. So I had that, and thinking back now. So Arsalan is the guy going through the setback right now, but that's so true, bro. Like me looking back now. Looking at the phase that I was going through, which was quite a huge setback, which was a collective occurrences of employees leaving, and when I was finally, okay, I'm going to reach this point where I can actually take the next step in the business.
Yeah.
Right, I can do it next week. And then something happened in between where I had to delay 6 months back.
Yeah.
Not only did I not reach what I was about to reach next week, but I actually stepped back 6 months. Whoops, that was the phone. and me looking back now, I'm glad that happened, because it taught me a lesson that I know I wouldn't have learned if it was only, I've gone through only successes. So that taught me a lesson. I'm glad that happened before, because not only for the lesson that I taught, and not because, I have a story to tell now, I went through all this rough shit, but I know that built me up to actually grow success at a certain point, and then sure, it's gonna happen again, to a certain point.
And I know you've learned from that, because you've warned me about being prepared for employees leaving and things like that. So I know you've learned from that for sure, and you pass it along.
And whatever you too, like you're gonna go through setbacks, which we don't aren't necessarily prepared for. There are some setbacks that we cannot avoid before. And that's all part of setbacks. Like, you, after all that you've gone through, you were going through a little bit of a rough point. and then lost your car. And then that was like really tough. I know how tough it was for you.
Yeah.
That was what, yesterday, right? 2 days.
2 days
so
ago.
This is recent. That's why we're making this podcast.
A few days ago, yeah. Yeah, it's not just that. Yeah, a few things happened to catch everyone up on the recent events. It's just in a space of 4 to 5 weeks. It's just losing most of your savings basically.
Yeah.
in just a few weeks. So,
and it also affects the finance. I mean, setbacks will affect the finance.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think with every business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, obviously, yeah, 100%.
Indirectly or directly. So it's in your case it happened indirectly, but obviously affected the finances as well.
Yeah, it just because you have then at that point, even if it's your personal expenses, you have to take money out of business in order to cover everything.
Yeah.
So it puts everything back, and not only it hurts you now, it hurts you long term because you don't get to your goals as fast as you wanted to, and it's just it kind of empties you out in terms of like motivation. I almost froze. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to kind of get out of the business.
Yeah, that's how you feel. Like,
yeah, that second. But if you just get through the first few days, I guess every day will be a little bit better than the day before.
And just, I guess a solution for this problem as well, as you said the magic word, because you're going to get through it. But that's the reason 98% of businesses fail, because, they don't know. They don't know this is normal. They don't follow, people who have gone through it. They normally just do by experience, for example. They don't value the value of education.
Oh, no. If it wasn't for, the guys that we follow again, I would have quit, because this is it's not normal to lose everything and then be like, oh, okay, I can make this work.
And it sounds so chill. It sounds like, oh, it's a setback. You're gonna remake that. You're gonna remake that in a few months. It's not that. It's your mind. People don't understand. People in watching it, it seems like, oh, it's just a setback. So easy. Oh, the guy got through it and he recovered it and bam, he did it again. But when you're going through it, you have to find your mind. You have to fight the belief in your mind. Because once you lose belief and lose the purpose and the reason to do what you're doing, continue doing it, that's it. Like, it's game over.
Yeah.
And this is a good example is following people, knowing that this is normal. Grant Cardone, he multi-billion-dollar guy, almost reaching $1 billion. But he is an amazing example of a huge setback that he's gotten had in his life in business. Went to 4 years after the real estate recession, so he's a real estate guy. Big guy, big successful guy. Guy has a freaking airline plane now, Gulfstream. Whatever, that doesn't mean anything, but he does. The market, when through the recession, he lost everything. He was losing stuff for 2 years nonstop, and he was just getting punches, lawsuits. So when one thing negative started happening, okay, let's push it through it. Like, it happens every day in business.
Yeah,
we can push it through it. We get hit in the face every day in business, but we can fight it through it. But when all these punches come in you all at once, that's why it's mostly considered setbacks. When all comes at once unexpectedly, like you crashed your car, you lost that, and employees problems, insurance problems, and that's what happened to Grant. The market was recession, but okay, let's go through it. But he was then starting to get lawsuits all over the place, $1 million lawsuits, and $30 million, $40 million. It's hard to picture that, but it's still the guy has a lot of money and losing. The more money you have, the bigger problems you're gonna have, and it's gonna hurt more. But for the 2 years, he's gotten bit so much. The market was showing obvious signs of growth again. During this 2 years lawsuit over here and then, he was gotten bitten, just like an example, and he got bitten so much during the section that just like a boxer, when he gets punched in the face so many times, when his opponent got his guard down. After the 2 years, which is the recession was going back up, he couldn't see it because his eyes were all swollen. So that's the analogy that he used. That he couldn't knock him out. Like the guy, put his guard down and he can finally punch because the market was going up already. Not sure if I'm making sense here.
No, we get it.
But until he threw the first punch.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see.
It just shows that you got to keep going, right? It just shows that it's at the end of the day, it's just part of the deal. If you're looking to become an entrepreneur, or if you are an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, you've already probably experienced it, how up and down it can be. It's just so unpredictable. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to like what you do or love what you do, because it's risky, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone says, becoming an entrepreneur is risky, and this is part of it. Like you can make a lot of money, a lot more money than you've expected, and then all of a sudden you can lose almost everything in a space of a few months. It's risky,
but it's very practical, because but
you learn from it, and then it comes to the point that you're not losing as much as you were in the beginning. Yeah.
And thinking about it, it's risky, but it's not really, because if you have to go through setbacks to really grow to successful, the higher you achieve, the more setbacks you're going to have, the more punches you're going to face, the more problems. So you're on the look for problems.
The hard part is that it plays a trick on your mind, but you have to stay focused in order to bounce back from it. So if you're not focused, you're just going to keep sinking in deeper and deeper and deeper from that setback, and then you just can't recover from it. Yeah. So you have to, when it happens, like it has for me, I literally have been brainwashing myself with entrepreneurial podcasts and books in the past 2 days in order to keep my sanity, to keep believing that, this is just part of the game. Because
it's part of the game. Even
though deep down, just because of what you learned, that it will happen, it probably will happen again. It'll happen to you. It'll happen to everyone at some point. But when you're in it, it's so hard to think straight, because I'm constantly like, well, what do I do now? How am I gonna grow to get my goal now? Or how far should I push my goals back? What do I do with my guys? Just things like that. You want to change everything but that's just stupid. But your mind just can't keep it on the same. You can't keep it sane.
Defense mode.
Yeah, exactly. You're just completely like, how do I keep what I have left? Because that's all you have left now. And everything becomes riskier because you're low on money, you're low on time. It's so hard to keep focused, but like you shared that section of Trump's book. I know not everyone's a huge Trump fan, but you can't argue about his. Yeah,
he did say, Trump said a failure or setback is not a defeat.
Yeah,
defeat is a state of mind.
Yeah,
and a state of mind, and accept hopeless. The hopeless mindset of a defeated person. So we were going through, just like you said, it's a state of mind. If you go through setbacks, it's going to feel like you're defeated, like you lost. Not really.
Yeah.
Because for everybody, even when a recession happens to economic, in the economy, in the country, recession, whatever, depression, they tend to recover. They're growing, they're growing slowly, especially for business owners. When they go through a recession, they go completely down, and then after the recession, they skyrocket. Like they jump higher than where they were before. But this is the solution for it. The solution is so always stay focused on always at least maintaining the quality. I mean, you have to, while you're going through that's not the solution, but while you're going through it, you have to focus on the basics. Keep doing the basics, because you're not going to have the mindset to, when you're going through all those hardships, stay focused on it. On the other stuff. So stay focused on the quality of work and all the basics, because that's what carries the business forward. So I guess that's what most businesses face, is the solution for the setback is just like ours. We understood. We understood that we have to learn from bigger people. We have to learn what all these people went through, because that's the only way you can see that this is normal. Because when that's the reason a lot of businesses fail, because they are not willing to learn. They are selfish. They're selfish, and they think that, I can learn everything just by experience. I'm gonna face hardship here and hardship there, and that's how most businesses operate. They're selfish. They are not. They don't think that they can learn from somebody else, from bigger people out there in the game, and from whatever people are in business, and they're going through like setbacks like you're going right now, and you understand, which is awesome that we all understand, is that we look forward for these. I mean, although not really, but we take advantage of this, and we know that, dude, yes, now it's my time to actually, this is it. This will show, the amount of success that I'm going to have.
Especially for people like us who are looking to grow always, setbacks, I feel like, hurt a lot more and are more common because you're constantly going into new territories. You're constantly growing, and you're not used to that level. You just grew to that level. So things like that will happen a lot more. I feel like it probably happens less for businesses, like small businesses who have stayed small for 20, 30 years, right? Yeah. They've gone kind of used to the groove of things. Of course, things will come up, but yeah, I mean, it's if you're looking to grow your business and if you're looking to reach a certain level that not many people can get to, like we're aiming for, setbacks are just going to happen.
They are.
Yeah, because we're constantly pushing ourselves.
And the more you grow, the more, as Grant always says, the more you grow, the more successful you get, the bigger problems you're gonna have. Yeah. And people say that, no, everybody's gonna go through setbacks. It's the big guys go through setbacks, rough stuff happening in life to everyone. But dude, it hurts more when the people are more successful. It's like, what is it losing $20 million when the guy has $50 million in his account? That's much harder. And that's why I admire so much those big guys.
Yeah, I mean, more money, more problems, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have more money and have a lot less responsibilities. Just the world doesn't work that way. So you get paid more. Success comes when you have a lot of responsibilities. The more responsibilities you take on, the more stress you're gonna have, but the more money you'll also bring in. So it's just a correlation, but. It's just, but you do have to learn from it, right? You can't. And that's one of the hard parts is actually trying to move on from it and keeping your mind focused, and just like never repeating that same mistake again, because then in that case you probably haven't learned from it, and it needs to happen to you again.
And that's so awesome. Like you were telling me earlier when you were going through, like right now. So you're through the setback, and then as you have to maintain focus on the basics, and without you realizing that's what you did, actually. So you're detailing cars out there, and as a consequence, you're starting to, let me, on the little money, what goes out, the consequence that I'll have if I take a trip out.
Yeah.
Which you did. You took a week trip. Out of the city. And then you start to focus on the basics, and you start to watch out more for those things and value more of this. Even value money itself. So I guess that's what it teaches you, and you either learn the hard way, or the hard way. Because I mean, regardless, you're gonna go through a setback, whatever it is. You can not learn everything, but you can prepare yourself. That's why you learn from other guys, and don't be selfish in thinking that you can learn from your own experience, because it's not like you're going to avoid setbacks if you learn from big people. Some people tell me, I'm not going to read because I'm going to go through hardships anyways. But
you're going to go through a lot more hardships.
You're going to go through a lot more hardships, yeah. And not only that, you're going to go through hardship regardless, yes. But you're not going to quit, because you know that those hard people like Trump, Andy Frisella, Grant Cardone, dude, that's why I admire the guy so much, man.
Yeah, no, he's come back so many times.
Yeah,
that you can't deny that. It's so at least for me, I respect the guys who've failed like 12 times,
Yeah.
and somehow have had the guts and the grit to get back. That takes a special person. You can't, because this has been my biggest setback yet, just because of the amount of cash I lost. But and immediately I was thinking about quitting. So imagine going through that 10 more times, like some of these guys have been, and at a bigger level. Like I've only been doing this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
But these guys go for 3 years, fail, get it back up running, do amazing, fail again, and again starting from zero. It just takes a different level of grit. But that's why they're at the level, because they deserve it. It's at that point you just can't. You've got so much skills that even if you lose it, you can bounce back so quickly. Like some
and
of
my
these guys
personal
do.
opinion, dude, like choose a huge example. Trump, for example, is staying out of politics completely. This is a business part, but people say, oh, he lost his money. He already went bankrupt once. He's not that. He doesn't deserve it. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I
dude,
respect
the guy
him more
98,
because he failed.
The guy 98 during a recession. What year was it? Whatever. Everybody was losing everything in real estate. The guy's the only one. He was walking the street. He got out of the Trump Tower. He went to meet with the bankers, and he passed by a homeless man. It's like, he told his wife, "This man is worth $40 million more than I am." Dude, imagine the setback, all the trouble he went through.
Yeah.
And he fight through all that, and he got on top. He got back on top after all the setback, where everybody else around him failed. It was like billionaires, where they all in the same game, in the same level as his. They all failed. They're not there anymore. You don't hear about them anymore. It's just people don't see that. People see only the successful people that got through all of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I admire about the guy, man. That's what I admire. These people, business guys that actually...
don't lose
and that makes us... It's an example for us. And I think that's the reason we don't quit. Because we see the result of going through the setback. Of going through this failing. It's not just like little failing every day and up. I'm talking about setback, big failures.
It's someone like Gary Vee. Some of these experienced guys actually enjoy it when they have a setback.
Yeah.
Like they're like, okay, it's a test day. I'm gonna prove to myself and everyone that I got what it takes. And this is people. There are crazy people out there, super successful people that make a game out of it.
Dude,
huge setback this month. I'm gonna, because it's a game, and you're constantly proving that, hey, I can do it, and that's grit. And
I see why, I see why those people hit your head there.
No, it's my elbow.
At this point, it doesn't matter, right?
At this point, I don't think anything bad can happen.
He can.
You can always get. After the first 3 weeks, I was like, you can't get any worse, and then the biggest crash of all came.
It could get worse. This is it.
Yeah, I don't think we went over it. For me, it was lost a few thousand the first month. I was like, oh yeah, setback, and then a couple of weeks later, it was just a lot bigger.
And then the insurance problem with the cars.
Insurance problems. My personal car is completely gone. Yeah, it's not just one thing. It's
just
a few
put money
things.
down for your car, right?
Yeah, just bought a car outright cash and crashed it 3 weeks later, and I'm not getting anything back.
You're not getting anything because you don't have total coverage.
I don't have full coverage because before everyone calls me stupid, I didn't get full coverage because the car was supposed to be my car for just a few months. I was supposed to get it just for a summer car. I was going to detail it and sell it either at the same price or for a slight profit. So I wasn't planning on keeping it for a long time. But
this is an example of a setback.
Thought I was going to. I don't think most people would have gotten full coverage because I barely drive the car. It was just going to sit there most of the time.
Yeah.
It was, to me, it was no risk. Yeah, but this is a huge setback.
And it can happen multiple ways. Like his was the car, like, oh, I'm not gonna crash my car.
Right.
I'm good. No, dude, it can hit you in multiple
I'm
ways.
gonna drive it 10 times. No way I'm gonna get in an accident. That's
like
my
Rick
fault.
Cardone, he was going through a huge setback that took him 2 freaking years. He was getting beat up after the recession. He was getting lawsuits from everyone.
Yeah.
Like, who are you that is suing me? Millions of dollars. A guy suing him for something.
Yeah.
And he had to pay. And he was like, where is this coming from? There's no way. Like, who are you that's suing me? And it's hits that you don't expect. You can't expect. But you can't prepare yourself. And this is what all of you guys got to do. It hits that you're like, okay, it doesn't mathematically make sense for you to continue also. That's going to happen, like, with you.
That's so true. Like, Andy Frisella was talking about this, how for 10 years he was making less money than as if he was at McDonald's working as a cashier. He was making, for 10 years, he was making less money. He was making $600 a month for working 100 plus hours a week. Yeah, that's way below minimum wage. And but to keep going and keep believing, if you ask him today, or even back then, he was always like, I know I'm going to become rich. I just have to get through this.
Yeah.
And he talks about it now. He's like, in his posts, he always says, people ask me, did you know you were going to become rich, or did you think you were going to become rich? He was like, I didn't think. I knew I was gonna make it and become successful, just because.
He still had doubts. It's not like, how did he know? Like, he's still. Even today, the guy is a multi-million-dollar guy.
And he's still scared of losing.
He's still scared of going to work every day. He's like, I can lose everything. And he understands.
What if this happens? But
it's so true. Like, going back when you were saying people expect setbacks because they look forward to it, because they know what it means. They know that, finally, I'm getting my test. If I go through this, I'm going to succeed even more.
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
This is how it should feel. This is what you guys have to know. It happened. I don't feel completely like that right now. But I see why these guys think that way, because when I went through the setback about a year and a half ago, it's nothing compared to this, to carry me like completely out. But I start to think right now to myself, it's dude, for what I learned and how much I grew from it, from that setback, looking back, I actually if I go through another setback again, I know it can be tougher because I'll have a bigger setback, but it will be easier to go through it because I'll know what it will mean afterwards.
I think the
problem is the first one. Like the problem is the first one, and that's why a lot of businesses fail, because the first one is tough and it doesn't mathematically make sense. Okay, but for me to remake this, it's gonna happen to everyone. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna put it on paper. For me to remake this, it's gonna take me months.
Yeah.
You're telling me just now.
Yeah.
For me to remake this, and it doesn't make sense. Just like when Grant Cardone got his plane, he was looking at his plane. He was like, I could never imagine at 50 years old he is, I guess, when he got his first plane. At 30 years old, I could never imagine that this would even be. I was dreaming about it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it, just like I said. But like, dude, you can't see it. You can't imagine. It can't calculate you having that.
Yeah.
But if you work hard, go through those setbacks and understand that, past 20 years he got his plane. Without imagine, he was in disbelief when he got it. Paid cash for it. So this is all the thoughts that you guys are going to go through, going through a setback, and this is how you're going to solve this. You're going to think about the initial vision, the lack of you having the initial perception of that you're going to go through a setback and this is normal. You have to have that instilled in your mind before you start the business. You have to know that. And for you to know that it doesn't matter for you, you're going to work a year and okay, now I know. Now I'm going to work a year. I'm going to be fine when I go through setback. No. Study from real people. Follow real big business people. Even mentor. It doesn't have to be a mentor, but that works. So that you know that that's normal. And the lack, you won't have the lack of understanding of problems that a regular business go through. And you don't want to be like most people. They trust what they see online, then feel like it's not normal to have certain setbacks. Like people look at online, Instagram and everything, you only see successes. You only see, oh, my business is growing. That, as the more you look at that, the more you're going to think to yourself that that's not normal. You're going to go through a rough setback. You're going to lose stuff. You're going to be like, oh, that guy that I see on Instagram, he's always growing. That's not normal. I'm going to give up.
Right, yeah.
So watch out for that.
That's the worst thing, yeah.
Watch out for who you watch and, like, really be knowledgeable. And don't blame other things like it's gonna happen. You're gonna blame the industry that you were in. You're gonna start seeing difficulties. Blame things here and there. Oh, my company is hard because I don't have repetitive clients, or because my clients is a one-time client, I can't receive the same, or my price is too high. Like, you're gonna find a bunch of things to put the blame on. I can't find bright employees in my field. And my overhead is too high, depending on someone else to grow. You're going to have a bunch of... every business goes through this. And don't blame anything else. Just know that's the one thing you have to know. Follow those people. Look up, understand to yourself that it's normal. And read books, right?
Yeah, you just have to keep yourself well knowledge. You have to know that it's normal. And you just have to keep focused, man. You just have to just keep doing what got you there. I know there was a setback, but keep doing what got you there, and you'll get back there again, probably faster because you've already gone through it. Yeah. So for me, it took me a long time to save up as much as I wanted to, and then I lost it. But I know if I keep focused, I can get that money back a lot faster than I got it the first time.
You're doing the math, bro. You're doing the math. Oh, I can't. I'm not going to be able to save this back until a certain month. And I was like, dude, I guarantee you, like, I know for sure. You're going to look back, you're going to, like, be thankful that you went through it. And you're going to grow, like, faster than you think you are. Like, for some reason, the math doesn't make sense. I can't add up the numbers. But that's going to happen. Dude. I even want to film it because it's so awesome. Just such a killer you are, dude, for continuing.
I really want to come back to this episode in 2 years.
Yeah.
And sitting in my mansion, listening to this, and just feeling like, wow, I'm so glad I pushed through that. That was I was being such a little girl by
such a little bitch.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. Oh, that was hilarious.
By doubting myself and things like that, because that's all. It's so hard to not think about it, because even if you start dreaming, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that, I'm gonna get through this,
and it's a lonely place. Another thing.
Yeah, that's true. It is, because I can't vent to my employees about things like this. I can't vent to
your family,
to my family, because I'll stress them out, and you know,
and they're not in. That's why. It's another point, dude. Oh, I'm about to close out this podcast, man. But it gets lonely because you're not gonna share this with. Like, who are you going to share it to? Like, it's not because people don't understand how it is to go through it until they face these losses. It's just like when somebody loses their family member. I wouldn't know how to react. I haven't gone through that. I know it's tough, but how is it? And it's a lonely place. Like, you can't tell people. And people around you, the worst thing is that everybody around you, they're going to want to protect you, even people who loves you. And they're going to tend to say, okay, this is not normal. Just go back to your 9-to-5 job, get a comfortable life, and it's so hard to push through it when everybody around you. That's why the 1% is successful. In a different way. But it's hard. That's what I heard. That's what I heard when I was going through it. I was just myself trying to make sense why that was normal, and gladly, just as you are, I was prepared to know that was normal because of all the people that I studied and prepared me for this. Yeah. And that's what's got to be done. Just read those people, get in your mind how normal it is. Just regular business people. I mean, successful, rich people. If you want to be rich, you don't want to follow a knucklehead.
I blame you for everything.
Oh yeah, you blame me for everything. Go get out.
I blame myself for being 24 already, dude. I should have aged a lot.
Should have aged a lot.
I really wish I was a lot younger. So I don't know, dude. I wish I started a business when I was at like 18, 19 like you did.
Oh man, it's but you grew faster than I did, so. And you ran away through a setback at this point, which is awesome. I mean,
dude, I have nothing to show.
I'm still recording, by the way.
Oh, you are?
You are. But alright, guys, so this is finalizing without being on tape.
We need to cut that down because I'm still venting here and there.
Oh, you're still venting, yeah.
Yeah, I think this will probably go on for another couple weeks.
The first day that it happened, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you sent me the picture of
straight.
the car being crashed because I knew already what you've been going through, and you sent me the picture. I was coming back from New York, and I was quiet for like 40 straight minutes. Just thinking, putting myself in your shoes. I was like, dude, if he doesn't quit, he's gonna grow like a motherfucker. Yeah. And you did it. So we're gonna look back to this, and we know how positively this is gonna play out.
This is good. This is gonna be funny because I'm actually giving the same advice to one of my friends who's going through something similar. Not exactly, but he's with his personal life, and I'm just like, man, in a few months you're gonna look back at this, or a few months probably too early. A few years you're gonna look back at this, and you're gonna laugh at it and about how you've been acting and venting, how much you've been venting and things like that. And I tell myself that in a few years I'm going to look back at this and this will be a minor setback. The setbacks I'm going to deal with in a few years are probably going to be just dads of this.
Yeah, and that's what I tell you,
because
you do get sometimes you know with some little setbacks, little business problems that you will worry about. You know, I'm worried about when a client does something and I'm thinking about it all day. It happens the same thing with me about 2 years ago. And then I'm telling you, like, man, when that happens, I solve that in 2 minutes. Yeah. And I forget about it. Like, that's not a problem. For me, the problem is another one. Just like for other bigger guys, the problem is other bigger problems.
If you dwell on one problem, I mean, more problems are just going to keep adding on. As an entrepreneur, you are a professional problem solver, basically. So
you forcefully become one. Otherwise, you're just out of the business.
And if you don't solve that one big problem and you just keep crying over it, and little problems keep adding up, it's going to get to the point that you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're not going to want to. You're going to.
That's why they say always find bigger problems. For you to grow, you don't look for growth; you look for problems.
No, I've heard in a lot of podcasts, and also I've read how like people say it's just a huge roller coaster being an entrepreneur. So it's just part of the game.
That's a good book, by the way, isn't it over there?
Yeah,
Entrepreneur Roller Coaster.
Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, actually. Right here.
And another one for y'all to read, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's I think the first book I read when I decided I want to start a business.
We were in the van together. I was like, read that one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so true,
dude,
man.
Dude, time has gone by so fast.
Yeah.
I was training with you like exactly 2 years ago in the summer.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2
right?
years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And you were venting with me because of this setback. I was like, it feels like I lost everything. I'm back 2 years ago, but look
at where we've come from, though. Like, 2 years ago, you were still outside detailing. You know, you had only one other van besides yours,
and I couldn't imagine. I still think I'm small as shit. Like I'm still like, and I am.
I bought my first van a year and a half ago. I'm like, dude, no. Looking back, it makes you happy, but at the same time, we've had big goals and we constantly fail. We constantly fail, but at the same time, we're growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
and we're always gonna think we're small and we're not growing up.
That's a good thing, though.
It is,
It's stressful, but that's the part that
it's a good stress.
It.
It's an exciting stress.
It's the type of stress that keeps pushing you.
I want to wake up and but I'm going through the setback. Heck, not at the first one, but
the only small bad part is that you can't really turn it off sometimes. You can't turn off the stress that much, or you can maybe for a short period of time. Because you have big goals, like it's just natural. Yeah, it's just if you want to become a multi-millionaire and you're not even you're not making that much right now. you're always stressed. But if your goals are small, then you're not going to be happy. But at the same time, you're not going to be stressed.
And
either.
at a certain point, like, dude, like you said, I wanna one day be able to turn it off. But dude, right now, it's not. I can't. Like, I turned off. I went to New York for the trip when that happens with me, and I'm there. I'm suffering there.
Yeah.
No, I'm having a good time there. When I'm in New York, dude, I'm enjoying.
When you come back,
not there. When I come back. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to take any more trips.
Right,
not because I didn't like that trip. Obviously, I enjoyed it. But because I don't want to turn myself away from this craziness. Like, from this craziness.
No, I prepared for the Texas trip. Like, I got a lot of stuff done. I booked out, the schedule for a while ahead. And I go there. All I do is just answer calls here and there. I barely do anything. And when I come back, I'm just like, how did so much build up? And
in their case, it was like problems, right?
I came back to problems. That was another bad thing.
But the thing that you don't want to you're not going to want to turn yourself away once you get into the entrepreneurial thing, is that this excites you. So, which is good, because if this is your life every day, dude, and I don't want to take trips because I don't want to be away from this.
Yeah.
And it's so much better where most people wait for the weekend to enjoy. Like, no, I want to away from the weekend and just do this. Just go through problems.
Yeah, weekends are definitely less fun.
Huh?
The weekends aren't, I think because of where we're at with the business, I think weekends are actually the least amount of fun we have.
Yeah. Unless you were still obsessed during the weekends. Guys, subscribe. I'm still recording, by the way. See how we get more free when we think we're not recording?
Yeah.
We're going to get better podcasting, too. But please, guys, dude, just subscribe. What do I ask? What do I normally ask?
Subscribe, leave us a review, follow us online, check us out. If you have any questions also, feel free to just honestly give us if you have any detailing question, business question, things like that, just feel free to shoot us an email or just randomly give us a call.
Yeah.
We're both pretty good with answering calls right away. So yeah, man. No, definitely reach out to us. Also, follow us everywhere on social media. It's Wings Mobile Detailing and Wings Mobile Detailing Virginia Beach. Leave us a review. That'll really help us grow.
That'll be cool.
And refer us a friend. That'll obviously help us a lot. Just word by word of mouth. That would really help us grow this podcast.
And as we're growing too, not only the podcast and the business, we also franchise. So Wings Mobile Detailing is an actual franchise. So everybody that is looking to get into a business and you want to franchise with us and grow with us your own business, become your own business owner. Your own business owner. Can't even speak.
Own yourself being a business owner.
Work to yourself, not by yourself. Dude, it's a whole different life. So just get in contact with us or send us a DM online, anywhere. We're on Google. So it's a really famous website. We're out.
All right, guys. I'm going to go cry.
Go cry.
Get the rest of it out.
All right, bro. I'm going to head back to Richmond.